Galactic Council trembles as humans reject all negotiations. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was larger than any city on Earth. Its ceiling curved like the inside of a giant shell, glowing with soft blue light from living crystals. Thousands of alien leaders sat on floating platforms, each one different in shape, size, and color. Some had scales, some had fur, some were made of metal and light. All of them had gathered for one reason. Humanity had arrived. For many cycles, the Council had watched the rise of the humans. At first, Earth was only a small world on the edge of known space. Its people fought among themselves, used simple ships, and barely reached their own moon. The Council thought they would never matter. But time passed and humans learned fast. They built faster engines, stronger shields, and weapons that could burn stars. They explored, traded, and defended their borders with fierce will. Now the Council feared them. In the center of the hall stood a wide platform made of smooth silver stone. This was where speakers from new species were judged. Today, 3 humans stood there. They wore dark uniforms with the symbol of Earth on their chests. Their faces were calm, but their eyes were sharp and watchful. Alex Carter stood in the middle. He was tall, with short brown hair and steady blue eyes. On his right was Lisa Brown, her black hair tied back, her hands resting quietly at her sides. On his left was John Parker, older than the other 2, with lines on his face that spoke of long years in space and war. They did not bow. They did not show fear. They only waited. A deep voice filled the hall. It came from a towering alien with skin like dark stone and glowing red eyes. His name was Zorak, one of the oldest members of the Council. "Humans of Earth," Zorak said, "you stand before the United Council of the Galaxy. Your kind has expanded too fast. Your fleets grow too strong. Your influence spreads like fire. This council demands answers." Alex looked up at the many faces around them. He could feel the weight of their stares, like a storm pressing down on his shoulders. Still, his voice was calm. "We are here to listen," he said. A low murmur spread through the hall. Many aliens expected fear or pride or anger. Instead, they heard simple words spoken in a steady tone. Another voice rose, sharp and cold. It belonged to a thin, insect-like being named Sirith, whose eyes glowed green in the dim light. "Do not pretend weakness," Sirith said. "Your ships patrol borders that once belonged to others. Your weapons can shatter moons. Your people train for war even in times of peace. The Council believes you seek dominance." Lisa stepped forward slightly. "We seek safety," she said, "and the right to choose our own path." Zorak's heavy head tilted. "The Council has decided," he said. "For the good of the galaxy, human expansion must be limited. Your fleets must be placed under Council command. Your weapon research must be shared. Your future will be guided by us." Silence followed. The words hung in the air like chains waiting to fall. John Parker breathed slowly. He had seen many battles, many threats, and many attempts to break the will of humans. He knew this moment was not about weapons or ships. It was about freedom. Alex did not answer at once. He looked at Lisa and John, and they gave small, almost invisible nods. Then he turned back to the Council. "We will not accept this," he said. The hall erupted in noise. Some aliens hissed. Others clicked or roared. Lights flashed across the walls as emotions rose. Zorak raised one massive hand, and the noise slowly died down. "You misunderstand," he said. "This is not a request. It is a command." Alex met his glowing eyes. "We understand," he said, "and we still refuse." The Council members exchanged looks. Many had expected threats, pleading, or attempts to bargain. Instead, they saw quiet defiance. Sirith leaned forward on its platform. "Your kind is young," it said. "You do not know the cost of standing against the Council. Many races have tried. All have been broken or erased." Lisa's voice was soft but clear. "We have faced erasure before," she said, "on our own world. From our own wars. We survived because we learned to stand together." Zorak studied them in silence. He had seen fear in many species, even in great empires, but these humans stood with straight backs and steady eyes, as if the weight of the galaxy meant nothing to them. "You believe yourselves strong," Zorak said, "but strength without guidance leads to chaos. The Council offers order. Accept it and your people will live." John spoke now, his voice carrying the calm of long experience. "Order without choice is only another kind of cage," he said. A ripple of unease moved through the hall. Some council members began to sense that these humans were not here to beg or to bend. Zorak turned to the other leaders. "What say you?" he asked. A tall, winged being named Krell spoke. "The humans are dangerous. They build weapons as fast as they build homes. They train their children to face hardship. They celebrate those who stand against impossible odds. Such a culture will never accept control." Another, a smooth-skinned creature named Tala, added, "Yet they also protect the weak and honor their allies. They do not conquer without reason. They are not cruel by nature." Sirith clicked in anger. "Kindness does not erase threat," it said. "They grow too fast. If we do not bind them now, they will one day challenge the council itself." Alex listened to every word. He knew this debate had been happening long before he set foot in the hall. The decision had likely already been made. Zorak turned back to the humans. "The council will give you time," he said. "Return to your leaders, tell them our terms. When you come back, you will accept them or you will face consequences." Lisa's eyes narrowed slightly. "What kind of consequences?" Zorak's voice grew colder. "Sanctions, blockades, and if needed, force." The word force echoed through the chamber. Many aliens believed that the threat alone would make humans bend. They had seen it work on countless worlds. Alex felt a quiet fire rise in his chest. He thought of Earth, of cities and oceans, of people who had struggled and fought for every step forward. He thought of the long history of humans refusing to kneel, even when the cost was high. "We will carry your message," he said, "but do not mistake our calm for fear." "Humans do not respond well to chains." Sirith's eyes glowed brighter. "You speak boldly for a species that stands alone." John shook his head slightly. "We are not alone," he said. "We have each other. That has always been enough." Zorak watched them for a long moment. In that silence something shifted. It was small, almost unseen, but real. A sense that the council was facing something new, something that could not be easily shaped or ruled. "You may go," Zorak finally said. "Prepare your answer." The platform beneath the humans began to glow. A beam of light surrounded them, ready to return them to their ship. As the light rose, Alex spoke one last time. "We came in peace," he said. "We still seek peace, but peace must be chosen by all, not forced by a few." Then they were gone. The hall fell quiet again. Many council members sat in thought. Some felt anger, some felt doubt. A few felt something close to fear. Sirith broke the silence. "They will resist," it said. "We should prepare the fleets." Krell folded its wings. "Or we should prepare to understand them," it said. "A species that walks into this hall without fear is not one that can be ruled easily." Zorak looked at the empty platform where the humans had stood. For the first time in many cycles, he felt uncertainty. The council had expected weakness or pride or loud threats. Instead, they had seen calm resolve. And in that calm there was a warning. Far away in the dark between stars, the human ship moved through space. Inside, Alex, Lisa, and John sat in silence for a moment. "They think we will bend," Lisa said quietly. Alex nodded. "They always do." John looked at the stars on the screen. "Then they are about to learn what happens when humans say no." The human ship glided through the blackness of space, quiet and steady. Alex Carter sat in the command chair, his hands resting lightly on the arms. Lisa Brown stood by the observation window, her eyes on the stars. John Parker reviewed maps and reports, the hum of the engines filling the room. "They think they can scare us," Lisa said softly, not looking at anyone in particular. Alex nodded. "They always do. Every species thinks humans are simple, easy to control. Every species thinks we will bow. John glanced up. We don't bow, we don't beg. And we don't negotiate from fear, we negotiate from choice. The Council's words still echoed in their minds. Sanctions, blockades, force, Alex repeated. They believe those are enough to make humans submit. They are wrong. Back on Earth, the news of the Council's message spread quickly. Citizens gathered around screens and hollow displays, watching the alien broadcasts. Some were worried, but most felt the same calm determination their leaders had shown. Humans had survived disasters before, and now, facing the entire galaxy, they knew they had to stay united. In the Galactic Council, debates continued. Zorak's massive form sat in silence as Cirith hissed and clicked angrily. "They speak boldly," Cirith said. "They refuse our terms without negotiation. No other species has ever done this." Krell, the winged member, folded its wings slowly. "Perhaps we underestimated them," it said. "Their silence was not fear, it was patience. They waited, watched, and chose their words carefully." Tala, the smooth-skinned counselor, shook her head. "They are unpredictable," she said. "And they do not lie. There is no trick, no hidden meaning. They simply refuse. And yet they do not attack, they wait." "Waiting is dangerous," Cirith said. "They grow stronger every cycle. Every year, every battle, every success, they become harder to control. The Council cannot allow this to continue unchecked." On the human ship, preparations were underway. Their fleets moved silently through nearby systems, ready to protect Earth and allied colonies. Engineers checked weapons, shields, and engines. Soldiers trained quietly, not with anger but with focus. Each human knew that when the Council moved against them, there would be no chance to negotiate. "What do you think they will do?" Lisa asked Alex. He considered for a moment. "They will try to test us first, a small force, maybe a blockade, maybe a threat. They want to see if we break." John smiled faintly. "They will be disappointed." The humans decided to respond to the Council's message not with threats, but with clarity. A delegation of skilled diplomats and officers, including Alex, Lisa, and John, was sent to speak to allied species in the Council. They needed support, not for war but for understanding. They arrived at the first Allied station, a huge ring world orbiting a gas giant. Ambassadors from several species waited. The humans explained their stance simply. "We will not bow. We will not surrender. We seek peace, but only on terms that respect freedom." Some ambassadors nodded. They had observed humans for cycles and understood their ways. Others were skeptical. One, a large amphibian named Gorth, spoke first. "You risk everything by refusing the Council," he said. "They have fleets, weapons, authority. Why do you not submit?" Alex met his yellow eyes evenly. "Because submission is not survival," he said. "We survive by choice, by unity, and by courage. Chains do not make us safer." A small crowd of alien leaders whispered among themselves. They had seen humans win against impossible odds, defend planets with limited fleets, and protect allies stronger than themselves. Humans were dangerous not just for their weapons, but for their will. On Earth, leaders prepared the population. Cities and colonies moved into higher alert. Fleets were stationed near borders. Engineers worked day and night to improve ships and weapons. But the mood was calm. Humans had faced disasters before. They knew panic was useless. The Council, meanwhile, became restless. Zorak had never faced a species that refused negotiation so firmly. Cirith demanded that a show of force be sent immediately. Krell advised caution. "We cannot underestimate them," he said. "They are not like other species we control. If we strike too hard, too fast, we may awaken something we cannot stop." The first confrontation came quietly. A small alien fleet, sleek and armed, approached the human patrol lines near a neutral system. They fired warning shots, enough to scare weaker species but not enough to damage humans. The Council expected fear, submission, and an immediate response. Humans observed calmly from their ships. No alarms sounded unnecessarily. No weapons were fired. Then quietly the humans moved into defensive positions. Their formations were precise, calculated, and unyielding. "They are waiting," Alex said, "waiting for us to make the first mistake. They think we will panic." But humans did not panic. When the alien ships advanced too close, human patrols moved with speed and skill. Weapons systems activated silently. Beams of energy swept past enemy hulls, careful but powerful. The aliens had underestimated human tactics. They were forced to retreat with minimal engagement, surprised by the precision and discipline of humans who had trained for years for moments like this. News of this small but decisive victory spread quickly. Across council networks, species whispered about the humans. They were not cruel, not reckless, but unyielding. Their unity, their courage, their calm in the face of threats, this was something the galaxy had rarely seen. Back on the human ship, Alex, Lisa, and John reviewed the encounter. "They expected fear," John said. "They saw skill. Now they will know patience and planning." Lisa shook her head. "They still do not understand humans. They see weapons, they see fleets, but they do not see the will that drives them. That is what makes us strong." Alex nodded. "And the council will test that will again. We must be ready, but we do not strike first. We show them the choice. Humans act with reason, not fear." On council worlds, debates became heated. Sirith wanted immediate strikes, blockades, and heavy sanctions. Krell argued for caution. "We cannot force a species like this," Krell said. "They are patient, they are clever, they are united. A strike now may awaken a resistance that will not end." Tala agreed. "Humans are not like other species. If they survive one attack, they will adapt, and we cannot predict what they will do next. Even a small war may spread across systems faster than we can control." The council began to realize a truth they had never considered. Humans were not weak, and humans were not predictable. They were not merely another species to be managed, controlled, or intimidated. They were something new. Meanwhile, human fleets moved silently, monitoring council borders and protecting trade routes. Engineers repaired ships damaged from small skirmishes. Soldiers trained, but not with fear or anger. Training was preparation, understanding, and discipline. In one distant colony, a human leader named Emma Clark gave a speech to young recruits. "They think we will bend," she said. "They think we will beg. They do not understand us. Humans are strong not because of our weapons, but because of our choice. We choose to survive. We choose to defend each other. We choose to stand. And that choice is stronger than any threat." The council's emissaries tried to negotiate again, sending diplomats with gifts, promises, and threats. Humans received them politely, explained their position calmly, and refused all demands. "They will not bend," a council observer said quietly. "They are impossible." Back on Earth, families watched the stars, listening to reports. No one celebrated or feared. The calm certainty of humans spread like quiet fire across the world. People knew their leaders would protect them, and they knew the council's threats could not bend the spirit of humanity. The first part of the council's plan had failed. Their small show of force had not intimidated humans. Their threats had not shaken resolve. Their promises had not seduced humans. And for the first time, many council members realized that humans did not negotiate like others. They refused. Alex Carter stood at the command bridge staring at the stars ahead. "They think negotiations will work," he said softly. "They do not understand humans. They never will." John Parker leaned back, arms crossed. "And that is the advantage," he said. "When others bend to fear, humans bend to nothing. That is strength they cannot control." Lisa looked out at the stars, thinking of Earth, of colonies, of the people who had trained, fought, and survived together. "Then we wait," she said. "And we show them that choice is stronger than chains." As the human fleet moved through the blackness of space, the galaxy watched and waited. Council leaders whispered in secret chambers. Some feared the humans. Some wanted to study them more. Some quietly hoped humans would fail because the truth was terrifying. Humans were not weak, humans were not simple, and humans were not afraid. And in that quiet, patient strength, humans prepared for the trials to come. Every ship, every soldier, every engineer, every citizen, everyone had a role. The Council may have thought humans could be pressured, negotiated, or controlled. But humans had learned long ago that the galaxy did not bend them. Humans bent the galaxy by their will, their courage, and their unity. The stage was set. The Council would try again, but humans were ready, calm, and unshakable. And the first skirmish had already proven a simple truth. Humans did not negotiate from weakness. They chose their path, and they walked it without fear. The human fleets moved quietly through the outer systems. No alarms, no loud warnings, only steady engines and disciplined crews. Alex Carter watched the data streams on his command console. Every ship was in position, every fleet formation precise. Humans had trained for years for this moment, and now they were ready. "They think we are afraid," Lisa Brown said, standing beside him. Her eyes scanned the starfield. "They do not know we are prepared." John Parker, reviewing reports from distant patrols, nodded. "We have spent decades planning for this. Every Council fleet, every possible strike, every trick they could use, we are ready." Far from human space, the Council continued their debates. Sirith hissed and clicked in frustration. "They will bend eventually," it said. "All species do. They must have a weakness." Krell shook his wings slowly. "We have never seen a species like this," it said. "They are patient, cautious, united. They think ahead. They do not panic. They do not beg. They simply act when the time is right. Attacking them blindly could awaken something worse than any threat we have faced." Tala, calm and smooth-skinned, added, "We may already have awakened it. The humans' refusal to negotiate is only the beginning. If we push too hard, the consequences may be greater than we expect." Back in human space, Emma Clark supervised the last stages of fleet preparations. Her fleet was stationed along the border systems, each ship armed, shielded, and ready. Engineers double-checked engines, weapons, and communication arrays. Soldiers trained in zero gravity, simulating alien attacks. Each human knew their role, and each role was crucial. Alex Carter called a meeting with all commanders. "The Council will test us," he said. "They will send fleets, perhaps spies, perhaps small attacks. They want to see if we break. We will not break. We will not bend. We will respond with skill, precision, and patience." Kevin Brooks, a fleet commander with years of experience, spoke next. "We must be ready for all possibilities. They may try to blockade trade routes, attack colonies, or send mercenaries. Every system must be prepared." Maria Stone, another officer, nodded. "We have done this before. We know their tactics. We will adapt and we will survive." Across the galaxy, Council observers reported on human movements. Small fleets were seen moving silently. Human patrols were precise, almost invisible until they were needed. For the first time, some Council members felt unease. Humans were not reacting with fear. Humans were planning, calculating, and preparing for all outcomes. Alex reviewed intelligence reports. "They will try a test," he said, "probably a small fleet. They want to see if we react poorly. If we do, they will escalate." Lisa shook her head. "Then we give them no reaction to exploit. We move calmly, act deliberately, and remain united." John looked at the star maps. "They underestimate us," he said. "They have studied our past, but they do not know the present. They do not know humans." In one distant system, a small alien fleet approached a human outpost. Their sensors showed minimal defenses, and the Council believed this would intimidate the humans. Emma Clark observed the fleet quietly. "They think we are weak here," she said. "But weakness is a choice, not a truth." Kevin Brooks ordered the ships into defensive positions. Human sensors tracked every movement of the alien fleet. Human weapons systems prepared silently. When the aliens fired, the humans responded instantly, but with precision. No civilian systems were damaged. No unnecessary aggression occurred. The alien fleet was forced to retreat with minor losses, stunned by the humans' skill. They expected panic, but humans did not panic. They expected chaos, but humans acted with calm precision. And through this, the Council began to understand that humans were not like other species. Back at Human Command, Alex, Lisa, and John reviewed the engagement. They expected us to bend under pressure, Alex said. Instead, we adapted, defended, and showed restraint. They cannot predict us because we do not act from fear. We act from choice. John smiled faintly. They are learning a lesson they did not want to learn. Across human space, engineers continued to improve defenses. New energy shields were deployed around colonies. New ships, faster and stronger, were placed on patrol. Every system was networked, every soldier trained. Humans were not just surviving, they were preparing to respond to any threat with efficiency and strength. Emma Clark gave another speech to her soldiers. They think our fleets are just ships, she said. They think our weapons are our strength. Our strength is our unity, our planning, and our will. Every human here is part of a system that cannot be broken easily. That is what they fear most. While humans prepared, the Council struggled with the reality of human determination. Zorak, massive and stone-like, sat in silence. For the first time in many cycles, he could not be certain of victory. They do not panic, Cirith hissed. They do not plead. They do not negotiate, they only prepare, and we cannot break them easily. Krell folded its wings and spoke quietly. We have never faced a species like this. If we strike too hard, we risk escalation beyond our control. If we strike too soft, they will continue to grow in strength. Humans are a force of patience and skill. We must study them carefully. Tala nodded. And yet they do not seek conquest without reason. They do not attack without purpose. They defend, they prepare, they wait. That is their danger. They act only when it matters, and then they act with full force. Back in human space, communication lines buzzed. Scouts reported alien movements. Fleets adjusted positions, always staying one step ahead. Civilians were moved to safer sectors. Supply lines were secured. The galaxy watched as humans did not react with fear but with careful preparation. Alex sat in the command room, thinking of the Council and its fleets. They are testing us, he said, but they do not understand patience. They do not understand unity. They do not understand humans. Lisa looked at him. And that is why we will win if it comes to that. Not because we fight harder, but because we think smarter, act calmer, and stand together. John added, we are ready for any challenge. We do not seek war, but we are prepared to defend everything we value. That is what makes humans different. That is what makes us strong. Small engagements continued at the edges of human space. Aliens sent probes, small fleets, and spies, hoping to find a weakness. Humans responded efficiently. Each engagement was studied and used to improve defenses. No civilian systems were ever harmed, and no unnecessary violence was used. Humans were precise, efficient, and always in control. Emma Clark moved through the fleet, checking ships, speaking to commanders and soldiers. Do not forget why we fight, she said. We fight for freedom, for unity, for the right to choose. Weapons are tools, not reasons. Strategy and will are what win battles. As the humans prepared, the Council realized something alarming. Every action humans took was deliberate. Every movement was coordinated. Every decision was made with calculation and foresight. They were not reckless. They were not blind. They were not afraid. Zorak finally spoke to the Council. This is unlike any species we have faced, he said. Their strength is not weapons, fleets, or size. It is patience, calculation, and will. If we strike without caution, we risk disaster. Cirith hissed angrily. They cannot last forever. All species have limits. Krell shook his wings. Humans are not like others. We cannot predict them. We cannot force them. They act from choice, not fear. That is why they will endure. That is why they are dangerous. Back on the human ship, Alex, Lisa, and John gathered the commanders. "The Council will try again," Alex said. "They will test us with larger fleets, stronger attacks, and more pressure. We do not fear them. We do not bend. We prepare, we adapt, and we respond when necessary." Kevin Brooks nodded. "We are ready. Every system is defended. Every ship is in position. Every soldier knows their role. They may come, but we will stand." Maria Stone added, "And if they attack without cause, we will respond decisively but with precision. We do not waste energy or resources on panic. We act with purpose." Alex smiled faintly. "That is why we will win if it comes to that. Humans do not fight out of fear or anger. Humans fight out of choice, unity, and resolve. That is something no species can break easily." The galaxy watched as humans moved through the blackness of space, calm, prepared, and unyielding. The council whispered among themselves, realizing too late that humans were unlike any species they had faced. Patience, preparation, and unity made them strong. Strategy and will made them unpredictable, and their refusal to negotiate from weakness made them dangerous. And in the quiet, steady movements of human fleets, the Council understood something new. Humans did not bend to threats, they did not bow to power, and they did not fear the galaxy. They acted with choice, and in that choice lay their greatest strength. As the stars passed by, Alex Carter looked ahead. "They will try to test us," he said softly. "But no test will break our will. No threat will bend our unity. They will learn that humans do not negotiate from weakness. They prepare, they endure, and they act only when necessary." Lisa looked at him and nodded. "And that is why we will be ready for whatever comes." John smiled faintly. "Let them come. We are human, and that is more than enough." The council had grown impatient. Sirith hissed constantly in the meeting halls. "The humans will bend eventually," it said. "They must have a weakness. No species resists us for so long." Krell folded its wings. "We have never faced a species like this," it said. "They do not fear, they do not panic, and they do not beg. Every action is deliberate. Patience and will are their strength. If we strike too fast, we may awaken a force we cannot stop." Tala added quietly, "Their fleets are organized, their colonies are prepared, their defenses are precise. They do not act recklessly, they do not act blindly. We cannot control them the way we control others." Zorek slammed a massive fist on the table. "Enough! They have refused negotiation for cycles. We will test them now. Send a larger fleet. Let them see the Council's might. If they resist, they will face consequences they cannot survive." Sirith hissed angrily. "This is unnecessary. Even small skirmishes show humans are patient and clever. A large attack may trigger something worse." "We cannot wait any longer," Zorek said. "Humans will learn what happens when the Council demands obedience." Far in human space, Alex Carter, Lisa Brown, and John Parker received reports of a massive Council fleet approaching. Dozens of ships, armed and ready, moved toward human colonies in a show of force. "They want to scare us," Alex said quietly. "They believe size and numbers will bend humans. They are wrong." Emma Clark, coordinating the defense of border systems, spoke to her commanders. "We do not fear them. We do not panic. We respond with precision. Every ship, every fleet, every colony is prepared. This is what we have trained for." Kevin Brooks, commander of a human squadron, nodded. "They underestimate patience and planning. That is their first mistake." Maria Stone added, "They do not know the full strength of human strategy. They only see numbers. We will show them why planning and coordination matter more." The alien fleet approached cautiously, expecting the humans to scatter or surrender. Their weapons glowed as they prepared to fire on any human ship that dared resist. Their leaders believed that fear and destruction would force humans to comply. Alex ordered the human ships into formation. "Hold your positions," he said. "Do not strike first. Let them reveal their plan. Act with precision, not panic." Human ships moved quietly, almost invisible against the dark stars. Sensors tracked every alien vessel, every movement calculated and predicted. When the Council fleet fired their first shots, human defenses reacted instantly. Shields absorbed the blasts, and countermeasures redirected energy back toward enemy ships. "They will learn quickly," John Parker said. "Humans are not reckless. We defend, we calculate, we respond only when necessary." Lisa Brown studied the incoming fleet. "They believe fear controls species," she said. "We do not fear. We act with choice, and that is stronger than any weapon." The first engagement was brief but decisive. Human ships moved with speed and coordination, hitting key points in the alien formation while avoiding civilian systems. The Council fleet was forced to retreat with damage to their ships and minimal success. They had expected fear, chaos, and surrender, but humans acted calmly, precisely, and strategically. Back in the Council hall, reports of the skirmish spread quickly. Sirith hissed in frustration. "They are patient, precise, and clever. This was a small attack." "What happens when they respond fully?" Krell folded its wings. "They are not like other species. They do not panic. They do not beg. They only act when necessary. If we push too hard, they may retaliate with full force. We cannot predict them easily." Tala added, "Humans do not attack without reason. They defend, they protect, and they act with intelligence. That is why they are dangerous." Alex Carter gathered his commanders. "They tested us with force," he said. "They wanted to see fear. They wanted to see panic. They got calm, precision, and planning. That is what they will see every time." Emma Clark addressed fleet captains across the systems. "We do not seek war," she said. "We defend, we prepare, we respond. Every action is calculated, every move is deliberate." "They cannot break our unity." Kevin Brooks smiled faintly. "They will try again, larger fleets, more pressure. It does not matter, we are ready. We have trained for this. We have planned for this, and we will act together." Maria Stone added, "They see our ships and weapons. They do not see our strategy, our coordination, our patience. That is our hidden strength." As the Council fleet retreated, humans quietly repaired damage, reinforced positions, and improved defenses. Engineers worked tirelessly, soldiers trained, and commanders adjusted tactics based on the encounter. Humans never celebrated. Humans did not panic. Humans only prepared. In distant council chambers, the leaders whispered in concern. Zorak, massive and stone-like, frowned. "They are unlike any species we have faced. Every time we strike, they adapt. Every time we threaten, they prepare. They do not fear, they do not beg. They act when it matters and then with full force." Sirith hissed angrily. "They cannot last forever. Every species has limits." Krell folded its wings slowly. "Humans are not like other species. Patience, planning, and unity make them strong. Choice makes them dangerous. If we strike recklessly, we risk awakening a power we cannot control." Tala added quietly, "And they do not seek conquest without reason. They defend, they protect, and they act with precision. That is why they endure." Back in human space, Alex, Lisa, and John met in the command room. "The Council learned something today," Alex said. "Humans are not weak. Humans do not panic. Humans do not beg. They act with choice, and that is stronger than fear." Lisa nodded. "They will try again, they always do, but we will be ready. Every system, every fleet, every soldier is prepared. That is our strength." John added, "And every action we take shows them who we are. They cannot predict us because we do not act from fear. We act from unity, patience, and will." Emma Clark spoke to soldiers on a colony near the Council's edge. "They think weapons and numbers are everything," she said. "They do not understand humans. Strength is not just power, it is patience, planning, and the courage to act together. That is what makes humans dangerous." The Council prepared for another strike, larger this time. Fleets moved closer to human borders, hoping to intimidate and test their patience. But humans did not react with fear. Humans did not scatter. Humans moved with calm precision, defending colonies, patrolling space, and preparing for every possibility. Alex Carter watched the stars from the command bridge. "They will come again," he said quietly, "but no attack will break our will. No threat will bend our unity. They will learn humans do not negotiate from weakness." Lisa Brown added, "And every time they test us, they only show the galaxy our strength. Patience, planning, unity, these are our weapons." John Parker smiled faintly. "Let them come. Humans do not fight recklessly. Humans fight with reason, and that is why we endure." As the Council fleets approached human space once more, humans quietly moved into positions of advantage. Every ship, every soldier, every colony acted as one. Humans were not reckless. Humans were not panicked. Humans were precise, prepared, and unbreakable. Emma Clark looked at the approaching fleets. "They think size matters," she said. "We will show them precision, patience, and unity. That is why humans do not break." Alex Carter nodded. "They do not understand. Humans are not just ships and weapons. Humans are will, courage, and choice cannot be forced." John Parker added, "And if they learn that the hard way, it will be a lesson they will never forget." The Council watched from afar, realizing too late that humans were not weak, not simple, and not afraid. Every fleet, every ship, every soldier was part of a larger plan. Humans acted with calm and precision. They defended, adapted, and responded only when necessary. The galaxy had never seen a species like this. Zorak said nothing. He simply watched. For the first time he felt doubt. The Council had expected fear. The Council had expected chaos. The Council had expected negotiation from weakness. Instead, they faced calm, patience, and determination. Cirith hissed angrily, "We cannot control them like others." "They are patient, precise, and strong," Krell nodded slowly. "And they act only when necessary. That is why they endure. That is why they are dangerous." Back on human ships, Alex, Lisa, and John reviewed plans for the next days. "They will continue to test us," Alex said. "But every test shows them our strength, patience, planning, unity, and will. They cannot break that," Lisa smiled. "Humans do not negotiate from weakness. Humans act with choice, and that choice is our greatest strength." John added, "Let the Council tremble. They will see that humans are not afraid. They will see that humans endure, and they will learn that resistance is not defiance, it is survival." The human fleets moved silently, the galaxy watching. The Council trembled, uncertain and cautious. Humans had shown their hidden strength, not through aggression but through preparation, unity, and calm determination. The first test had failed. The Council had learned that humans were not weak, and every future strike would be met with strategy, precision, and unbreakable will. And in that quiet, patient strength, humans waited for the next move, ready to show the galaxy that choice, courage, and unity were stronger than any threat. The galaxy was tense. After weeks of failed tests, small skirmishes, and careful observation, the Council prepared one final attempt to force humans to negotiate. Fleets gathered at the edges of human space. Their leaders believed that this display of power would finally bring humans to their knees. Alex Carter stood on the command bridge of the flagship, watching the approaching fleets on the holomap. Lisa Brown and John Parker stood beside him, calm and composed. "This is it," Lisa said quietly. "Their largest show of force yet." Alex shook his head. "And it will fail just like the others. Humans do not bend. Humans act with choice, and no threat will force us to give up our freedom." John smiled faintly. "We prepare, we defend, we respond. That is what humans do. The Council still does not understand who we are." Emma Clark coordinated the fleets in the outer systems. Every ship, every squadron, every station was in position. Humans were not attacking. They were waiting. Patience, preparation, and unity, these were their greatest weapons. Engineers checked energy shields, weapon systems, and communications one last time. Soldiers trained quietly, not with anger but with discipline and focus. The Council fleets advanced slowly, showing their might. Massive warships glowed with energy. Small fighter squadrons darted ahead. Commanders of the council believed that fear would force a response. Back on Earth, civilians watched the skies. Broadcasts showed council ships moving closer. There was no panic. People trusted their leaders and their fleets. Humans had faced disasters before, and they would face this one together. Alex Carter addressed the crews of the fleets. "They think numbers are enough to control us," he said. "They do not understand patience, planning, or unity. We will show them that strength is not power alone. Strength is will, choice, and courage." Lisa Brown added, "We do not seek war, we defend what is ours. Every move we make is precise, every response deliberate. We are human, and that is more than enough." John Parker spoke last. "Let them come, let them test us. When the time comes, they will see the full measure of human resolve. We do not negotiate from fear, we do not bend, we act from choice." The first council ships reached human space. They fired warning shots at patrol stations, expecting fear. The humans responded with calm defense. Shields held. Countermeasures redirected blasts. No civilian structures were harmed. The council fleets were surprised. Humans were not panicked. Humans were precise. Emma Clark ordered strategic movements. Small fleets moved to block key points, while other ships remained hidden, ready to strike at vital targets. The council had underestimated human strategy, speed, and patience. Alex Carter gave orders for the next stage. "We defend, we adapt, we respond when necessary. Every action is deliberate. We do not strike recklessly, but when we do, it will be decisive." Lisa Brown watched the alien formations. "They think fear controls species. We do not fear. Every move we make is measured. Every choice shows our unity, that is our strength." John Parker added, "Their weapons are powerful, but precision, patience, and planning are stronger. They will learn this soon." The council fleet fired again, targeting outer colonies. Humans moved with skill. Defense drones intercepted projectiles, shields absorbed energy, and fleets positioned to counter any attack. No civilian lives were lost. The council's attacks were stopped with minimal losses. Reports reached the council. Sirith hissed angrily. "They are calm, precise, and clever. This is only a small defense. What happens when humans act fully?" Krell folded its wings. "Humans act only when necessary. They are patient, deliberate, and united. We cannot predict their moves. If we strike harder, we risk awakening a force we cannot control." Tala added quietly, "Their strength is not just weapons. It is will, unity, and choice. If we push them too far, we may regret it." Alex Carter gathered his commanders. "Prepare for the council's next move," he said, "but we respond with precision, not panic. Patience and planning will guide us. We do not negotiate from weakness." Emma Clark addressed soldiers across all colonies. "They think size and power matter most," she said. "They do not. Our greatest strength is our unity, our patience, and our courage. Every ship, every soldier, every citizen is part of a system that cannot be broken easily." Kevin Brooks, leading a key squadron, nodded. "We will act with precision. We will defend, adapt, and respond only when necessary. Their attacks will not break us." Maria Stone added, "They do not know the full measure of human planning. They only see weapons and ships. They do not see strategy, discipline, and will." The council prepared one final effort. A massive fleet moved toward Earth, accompanied by their fastest ships and deadliest weapons. They expected submission. They expected fear. They expected humans to bend. Alex Carter looked at the approaching fleet. "This is it," he said. "Let them see what humans can do when choice and will guide action." Lisa Brown nodded. "We will show them patience, planning, and unity. That is more powerful than any weapon." John Parker added, "And they will learn that humans act only when necessary. That is our greatest strength." Human fleets moved into position. They did not fire first. They did not panic. They waited for the council to make a mistake. When the alien fleet advanced too close, humans struck with precision. Energy beams disabled key warships. Fighter squadrons disrupted formations. Drones intercepted missiles. The Council fleet was forced into retreat with heavy losses. Alex Carter sent a message to the Council. It was calm, clear, and deliberate. Humans will not bend. Humans will not kneel. We defend our freedom, our people, and our allies. We act with precision, planning, and unity. We do not negotiate from weakness. We do not fear the galaxy. We choose our path, and that choice is unbreakable. The message spread across Council networks. Silence followed. Many leaders had never heard a species speak with such calm authority. They realized humans were not cruel, but they were unbreakable. Humans did not seek war, but they would defend themselves and their allies with full strength if necessary. Sirith hissed angrily. They are impossible, they cannot be controlled. Krell folded its wings. We have underestimated them. They do not bend, they act only when necessary, that is their danger. Tala added quietly, humans are patient, clever, and united. They act with will, not fear. That is why they endure. That is why they are strong. Back in human space, Alex, Lisa, and John stood together on the command bridge. They will not test us again soon, Alex said. They know we do not bend. They know we act with unity, patience, and precision. They know humans are not afraid. Lisa Brown nodded. Our message is clear. Humans defend what is theirs. Humans act with reason, and humans will not be controlled. John Parker added, the Council has learned that humans do not negotiate from weakness. We act with choice, courage, and unity, and that is more than any species can control. Emma Clark addressed soldiers across the galaxy. We have defended, we have endured, and we have acted with precision. The Council has seen our strength. But remember, our greatest power is not weapons or numbers. It is our unity, our patience, and our courage. We act with choice, and that choice cannot be broken. The Council fleets withdrew. Their leaders whispered, uncertain and cautious. Zorak, massive and stone-like, sat in silence. For the first time he understood. Humans could not be forced, manipulated, or intimidated. They could only be respected or feared. Sirith hissed in frustration. They are patient, precise, and united. How can we overcome that? Krell folded its wings. Humans act from choice, not fear. They are unlike any species we have known. That is why they endure. That is why they are dangerous. Tala added quietly, and they do not seek conquest without reason. They defend, they protect, and they act with intelligence. That is why they are unbreakable. Back on Earth, civilians cheered quietly. They had witnessed a calm but decisive victory. Humans had defended their freedom without reckless aggression, without fear, and without surrender. The galaxy had learned that humanity was a new power, not cruel, not reckless, but unbreakable. Alex Carter addressed his crew. We have defended our people, our allies, and our freedom. The Council has seen our strength. Let them remember that humans do not negotiate from weakness. We act with choice, courage, and unity. That is what makes us strong. Lisa Brown added, and every human, every ship, every soldier, and every citizen has been part of this. That is why the galaxy respects or fears us. John Parker smiled faintly. Humans endure because we choose to stand. Humans are strong because we act together. Humans do not bend, and humans will never kneel. As the Council fleets moved away, the galaxy watched. Humans had shown their hidden strength, not through reckless war, but through calm precision, planning, and unbreakable will. They had delivered a message clear to all. Humans act with choice, defend with courage, and endure with unity. And in that moment, humanity was no longer just a species on a small planet. Humanity was a force, a new power in the galaxy. A people who did not negotiate from weakness, who did not fear the unknown, and who would never kneel. Alex Carter looked at the stars and spoke quietly, as if to himself. We are human, and that is enough to stand against the galaxy itself. Lisa Brown added, and now the galaxy knows it too. John Parker nodded. We have spoken through action, through will, and through unity. Humans endure, humans prevail, and humans never bend. The galaxy trembled and the council understood at last. Humanity was unbreakable.